Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? Can I see some thumbs up, some streamers going? Unmute yourself and say hello if you like to. Henry, good evening. Susan, Suzanne, Bianca, Lisa, good evening. T-Crown. Wow, we've got a full house. Sepati, good evening. Nashra, good evening. Anna Marie, Johannes, Anita, Valencia, hello. Elizabeth, Ingrid, PG, good evening. Doret, good evening. Zulisa, good evening. And Louisa, good evening. Welcome, 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 guys. Sure, what a week it's been. We've been so blessed and so busy the last week. And would love to hear from you. So if you've got any exciting stories to share with us, please do reach out to me. I would love to hear what's going on and what's happening in your side of the world. Now, tonight we have a very special guest. But before I get to the special guest, I want to quickly ask you guys, anybody want to just drop in the comments area for me below or give me a thumbs up? So last week we had a wonderful technique that we shared with you, a wonderful way to present communication, and it was called Flip the Script. So who of you enjoyed that? Who of you had was thinking about that entire that entire exercise this last week? Yes. And who observed how people actually communicate and how people actually do things? And now that you are aware of how people from different frames sometimes communicate, and have you also seen how you sometimes communicate and how you absorb information? It's quite interesting when you start paying attention to different things, how it completely change your perspective, your perception. All right. So I'm excited for this evening, and I want to just quickly make a few announcements. We do have a few new people on the platform this evening. So first of all, I want to say welcome to all of you. This is number one, a safe space for you to come and recharge your batteries. So if you know friends or family that would like to get inspired once a week, this is the place to be. So remember to invite them. Also, if there is any mental health professionals out there, any professionals, therapists, psychologists, coaches, anybody from any walk of life, they are more than welcome. This is also a space where we help mental health professionals to grow, and we do share different types of information with different from time to time. So yes, guys, I'm very excited. Tomorrow we have a very special counseling essentials workshop that we do tomorrow with our in-house psychology professional, Marley Viljoen. She is a phenomenal force and always shares some incredible insights with us. There is only 3 spaces left. So if you're still interested, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. There's only 3 spaces left for tomorrow. And then I also want to say thank you for all the reviews. Wow, guys, you have over delivered. Amazing. Thank you for all the reviews. We really appreciate that. We appreciate your feedback. And for those of you that have not yet done your reviews, please do so. Remember, the closing is around the corner for our extreme practical personal transformation course that is totally free for anybody to take part in, starting on the 25th of April. If you need more information on that, please do reach out to me. Also, only a few more seats left, and we're going to be closing that pretty soon. Right. So, guys, who's excited for this evening? Can I get a thumbs up, please? Can I get a thumbs up? Yes. Johannes says, please send the link for the video. All right, Johannes, I will most certainly do that. I did get your message earlier today, and I just haven't had 10 minutes to do except plan and work. So I'll definitely get that done. Thank you very much for the reminder. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So I'm really excited about this evening. Doret, good evening and welcome. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice to have you on the platform as our special guest this evening. And, I had the opportunity to check in with you a few days ago when we went through a bit of a planning. And first of all, I want to say thanks, Doret, because I got off that call, having planned this evening and talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about this evening, but I got so much out of it. It was so amazing when Doret was telling me her story and her background and everything that happened to her. And I've known bits and pieces, but I never had the complete picture. So I think we spent about an hour on the telephone talking about different things. And at the hour, I felt, wow, this is amazing. It's almost like I was talking to myself, because we all go through challenges in life. We all go through ups and downs. And one thing I did learn from Doret is that it's not what happens to you, but it's most certainly that's what happens to you is not that important. What is important is the way you choose to respond to what just happened to you. So, Doret, thank you so much for being here this evening. You are a big inspiration for us, and we cannot wait to hear your story and how you have transformed your life. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Gideon, thank you. Yeah, we spoke yesterday, and you're right. I think it was over an hour. And I felt, afterwards, I think you only called for like a quick check-in and maybe a 10-minute conversation. And I just started unpacking my entire life. And I thought afterwards, you know what, that's what it feels like to speak to a life coach. Because I was having my own personal coaching session in that moment. And I can understand, Gideon, why your clients love you so much, because you're a good listener and you guide well. So thank you for my free session yesterday afternoon. I enjoyed it.
You're more than welcome. Thanks for your time there, Doret. So, Doret, you are a coach and a hypnotherapist, and you're changing lives, and you're living your passion right now. But it wasn't always like that. And before we actually dive into that, I want just to our audience to get to know you a little bit better. So let's call this 5x5. I'm going to give you 5 quick questions. You need to give me 5 quick answers, all right? And don't overthink it too much. So let's have a look. If you have a choice between Mariah Carey and Celine Dion, which one will you choose?
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. Right. Yeah. If you have to go on holiday, I know you stay near the sea, but if you have to go on holiday, would you prefer the mountains or the sea?
The mountains. I stay by the sea, so holiday, definitely the mountains.
All right. Sure. And what is your favorite color?
Green.
All right. And if you had a boat, what would you call it?
Leafy.
Leafy. Ah, fantastic. I like that. All right. Well, Doret, thank you so much for sharing that insights. And right. So when no one is watching, you're sitting all there by yourself at home. Who's Doret?
An overthinker, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Doret is a person I've got a good sense of humor, but I can be quite serious.
Okay.
I am empathetic, but sometimes also don't want to know about it. So the Doret has got a little bit of a two sides, if I can put it that way. So an interesting character. And you and I spoke about it actually yesterday. I've not recently, 2 years ago, I turned 50, and you go into a new phase of your life. So I'm definitely entering a new phase of my life, and not rediscovering, but discovering a new version of myself.
Yes.
A little bit more serious. So there used to be the jokey, life was just, easy going and nothing serious. But there's another side of me that's developing, and I'm still learning that side. I'm still discovering that side. So it's an interesting journey where I am right now. So it's a good question that I feel like I'm not actually answering at all.
I think you're answering it absolutely spot on. And I think we're all going through this tug of war sometimes. Am I now this, or am I now that, or should I have done this, or should I have done that? And PG taught me proper planning plus preparation prevents poor performance. So whenever I find myself in a situation where I didn't perform properly, I make a mental note and I make sure that next time I'm in a similar situation, I just do a little bit better. So,
exactly.
Maybe you can reminiscence on that question a little bit later on and give me some more feedback tomorrow. So, Doret, first and foremost, you are a human. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. You said you just turned 50, and it was not so long ago, 10 years ago, when you actually decided, when you turned 40, that you were going to make some life changes. And you were working in the film industry, right?
I was in the film industry for over 20 years. And it was actually my mid-40s, that I got to a stage where I loved it. I loved the film industry. It was exciting. I met great people. I went on nice shoots. So it was amazing. It was a nice life. But in my mid-40s, I started questioning my purpose. And when that question comes, like, what am I real? Is this really what my life is meant to be? And then the question came, where do I want to be in 10 years' time or 20 years' time? Do I still want to be here?
Yes.
And the answer was a very clear no. Definitely not a 60-year-old in the film industry. Anyone, I can see these people here who know the film industry. Yeah, it's a tough life. It's long hours, it's stressful, it's deadlines, and you don't want to be 60 in that industry. It's not going to be good for your health.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, not even 50. So the question came up, and I was like, I've got to do something else. I can't. This is not. I'm outgrowing it.
Yeah.
And I've got to do something else. And I didn't really know what else to do because that's all I knew. I didn't have experience in anything else. I didn't know anything else. So yeah, then the real question came. All right, so if you want to change careers, what's it going to be? And that's when the journey really started for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that it would happen around about your mid-40s, because we actually spoke about this yesterday, that every 7 years you go through some form of metamorphosis. So you either do that by choice, or the universe actually pushes you into it to make the change, to make a difference, to rediscover yourself. And for those of you that's listening in tonight, and you may be going through a bit of a tough time in your life, maybe in your relationship, maybe in your finances, maybe in your health, maybe with how you see and perceive life, maybe with your kids, I want you to look at where you are right now. Are you heading towards a 7-year cycle? Or are you coming out of a 7-year cycle? Are you in between? Do you need to start thinking about it? Because it's really, really interesting that if I can tell you right now that every single impact moment I had in my life, every time I had to make big changes, was right on that 7-year cycle.
Sure.
So
amazing.
Unbelievable, right? And you've just gone through a metamorphosis now where you were almost 50 and you started making these changes, and you decided that you're going to pivot, you're going to go in a new direction. And what exactly was that new direction that you pursued?
So, Gideon, I didn't know, like I said, what could I do? So, and I thought, let me kind of just follow my interest. And I was quite interested in like energy, the energy bodies, energy healing, that sort of thing. So I went onto Google, I looked for a course, and I found a course close to me. I still lived in Johannesburg. I found a course, and those were still, not online. We still went to the courses in person. It feels so strange now to think about it because I do everything online. But anyway, so I found a course. I went to this woman called Catherine Lee Kruger, and I did a course with her, and I learned about the energy bodies, which was interesting. I met interesting people. A couple of months later, she had another course. I went on that one too. And again, I met interesting people there and learned a lot. But I also knew that, like an energy healer, it didn't quite feel like me. But on this course, I met another woman, another student who was also on this course, and she was a hypnotherapist. And I started talking to her, and she just sounded very fascinating. Now, all I knew about hypnotherapy or hypnosis at that stage was, the stage hypnosis they do at school. When they come to the school, the hypnotists come to the school, and they make the kids do silly things on stage. So that was my only experience with hypnosis. But I did read a book about 5 to 10 years before then. Okay. And the book was called The Journey of the Soul by Dr. Michael Newton. And the book is about him. He's a hypnotherapist, and he put thousands of people in hypnosis and then asked them questions while they were in the hypnotic state about the journey of their souls. Sure. And that to me that book just blew my mind. It was fascinating. I was like, it was just so insane. It's something I never knew about, never thought about. So when I met this, Corin was her name, when I met this hypnotherapist, then this whole thing started, I was interested. Yes. So I went onto Google again, I looked for a course, and I found a course, the South African Institute of Hypnotism was doing courses in Cape Town, and they were doing courses in Joburg. And I thought, that's it, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to sign up. So I was still working in the film industry. But I started doing the courses, and I started doing the courses on Saturdays and Sundays. Like every second weekend, there would be class. So I would go to these classes. I would slip away from work because often we had to work on a Saturday or a Sunday, you know, like got my team going and then slip away, do the courses. But yeah, so for an entire year, basically, I did the hypnotherapy course, and then eventually I did the entire training, I did the exams, but then I had to do my practicals.
Yes.
And to be certified with them, you have to do 3 case studies. So it's 3 clients with 3 patients each. And I didn't have the time because I was busy with, you know, it was I didn't have the time, I was busy on shoots and whatever. And then COVID happened and we were locked down, we were sent home. And I thought, well, now's the perfect time for me to actually start doing these case studies. So I put a post up on my local little Facebook group in the area. And I just said, you know, I'm a student, I'm a hypnotherapist student, and I'm looking for volunteers for free sessions. Just like about 20 people replied. And I was like, wow, this is, you know, these people are interested in hypnotherapy. So that felt like this is a good choice. Not everyone came, but about 15 people came. And then I only needed 3 clients, but I actually decided to get the practical experience. I did all the sessions with everyone who showed up.
Yes.
And yeah, so during COVID, all of this happened, and I did the practicals. I sent it in. You know, you had to record a session, and then type it up word for word, send it to Sai. They would go through it and come back, and if anything's not right, you had to redo it. So it was a process. It was a long process. But I got my case studies in, and by the time we were called back, you know, the film industry, because I worked mostly on international jobs. The local industry opened earlier, but the international flights, all of that stuff was still, there wasn't work. So by the time I got called back, I actually was certified as a hypnotherapist. And I thought, I'm not going to go back. I'm a hypnotherapist and I have a new job and I have a new career and I'm not going to go back to the film industry. And that was a bold move, and in hindsight, probably not the most responsible thing to do because I just left the industry. I didn't go back. In the meantime, my partner and I decided to sell our house in Johannesburg. We moved here to Eisenfontein in the Cape, and a new career, a new environment, and it was a new beginning, and it felt really good in the beginning, And this is what I want to talk about, the money mindset. So my money, and just to explain a little bit, you know, when you freelance, you've got a specific way of working with your money. We don't work on salaries. We don't get a set salary every month like someone who's permanently employed. But when you work, you get money, and then you have to put aside for the months when you don't work, because there could be 2-3 months in between productions that you don't work, and then you had to put aside for those months. But there's always the knowing that when you're in that time, you can use that money. That's what it's there for. But there's going to be another job. There's always another job. There's always going to be, it was those days. It's not going that well in the industry at the moment, I believe, but there was always opportunities. So my money mindset was all about put aside, be responsible, but when you need it, use it.
Yes.
So that's how I lived for 20-30 years. And then I came here and I still had the same kind of money mindset. But this time there was no going back. There wasn't going to be another job in 2-3 months, because now I walked away from it. I'm declining jobs. I've got a new career. And I then started doing, while I was doing the course, the hypnotherapy course, a lot of people were talking about NLP, neurolinguistic programming. And I thought, well, that's the next one. I'm going to do that one. So the journey started for courses and learning and certificates, getting the certificates. So anyway, I found a place and I signed up and I did the NLP course. It was online. This one was online.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know, but by the time I finished the course, I got 2 certificates. I got a certificate for NLP practitioner And I got a certificate for a life coach, which wasn't really, I didn't really even know what a life coach was. But now on this course, obviously I learned about life coaching. And all of a sudden I have a certificate. And I was like, well, now I am a hypnotherapist, I'm a life coach, I'm an NLP practitioner. I've got it sorted. I've got a new career.
Let me guess. The people were knocking down your door. They were breaking down your door.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You had all these qualifications, and all of a sudden, the floodgates just opened up.
That's it. That's it. I've done the learning. I know what to do. And, the people just knew where to find me. They were lining up outside the road to, knock on my door and please, can we have a session?
Yes.
So that's where it started. And then, I had a little bit of savings, I had a little bit of money, but I still had all my safety in place. I had my hospital plan, I had my insurance, I had my policies, I had all the things that I've always had, while I was working. I had that all in place. But then the money started getting less and less and less. My savings is getting less, but I was a very good client of F&B. I always did well with my money. If I borrowed some, I put it back in my credit card ASAP. So I had a good credit score. And F&B gave me all these opportunities. I had an overdraft, I had a credit card, I had a revolving loan, I had a personal loan. And I've dipped into them before when I needed to, but then very easily paid it back again,
Yes.
when I needed to. So that was the money mindset. And so my savings started running out, and then I dipped into all these little resources that F&B was supplying to me at the moment, all along thinking that I'm just setting up this business and money's going to come in. I'm going to have my salary like I used to. I'm going to earn good money, maybe even better, because now I'm my own boss. And it was a little bit of wishful thinking and not really being business-wise at all.
Okay.
And soon the money started running out. My money ran out. I started depleting my beautiful F&B resources. And then I realized, when I started going into debt, I realized I need to cancel. I need to cancel first all the policies. So all the things that I've been paying for all my life, now I'm canceling it. Now, these aren't investments where when you stop paying, they're still there and they're still growing. When you cancel a policy, it's gone.
Yeah.
The medical aid, it's gone. The insurance, it's gone. So I started canceling things and really just needed to get by. And then it was financially, it was a difficult time because my partner was also, also with a move into a new province, everything also not doing well. So the two of us found ourselves in a very difficult place financially, and it wasn't going well at all. And then I said, well, now I've got to do everything that I need to do. I realized I've got to market myself. And by now I've done the courses, the one after the other. I've got the knowledge, I've got the skills. I'm even doing a couple of free sessions in between to get the experience. And I started doing some sessions on people that I knew. And but now I had no money to market myself. And anyway, if you want to go into Facebook, if you want to go into Google, you need money. So now I had no money. I just needed to survive. So all of a sudden, I was losing my independence. I've always been an independent, financially independent person. Since the day I left my parents' house, I was looking after myself. No one ever needed to look after me. I was very financially stable. I looked after my money well. I was secure in the things that I've had around me.
Yes.
I had all of those things, and all of a sudden, these things started falling away. All of a sudden, I don't have the money. I can't just do whatever I want. I have to borrow here and borrow there and, figure it out. And with that, then the struggle really started for me. And I thought about it, you think about a stock market chart. So I've been learning a little bit about the stock market and trading and investing. And if you think about a chart, the stock market goes up and it goes up, and then sometimes it pulls back a little bit and it goes through something, there's something going on, and then it pulls back a little bit, and then it goes up again. It goes up and it goes up. But then every now and then, like with COVID, something happens, and then there's a huge crash. And when that crash, when it falls, and it falls quickly.
Yeah.
And it falls far. And so that's what it felt like to me. I was my entire life like building, and all of a sudden I was getting to the peak, and it started turning around, and I was crashing. I was not only losing my financial stability and my independence, but I started losing myself in it, and my self-worth, and am I good enough, and can I do it, and am I a failure? So then that negative voice, that, and I'm like, that voice here that sits here and yep in your ears, that voice became louder and louder, and like, you made a mistake, you were impulsive, you should have known better, this is not for you, you're not one of them, like the imposter syndrome. I was looking at other coaches, and they were talking about clients and sessions and whatever, and I'm like, it just doesn't exist for me. And then, it started getting really difficult. It started getting so difficult where I just went into a very negative space. I was angry. I was like, but why is this happening to me? I went into a victim mentality. I just want to help people, and why is the universe not supporting me? And I feel like this is my purpose, but I'm not being backed up. And so all of that stuff. So the anger, the victim mentality, the lack mentality, the things were running out. I was constantly looking at everything running out. And I went into a very difficult, dark place, which I've never been in my life before, because I've never really been in such a difficult situation where, and it's more about, someone might, I'm thinking someone might go, that's just money. There's health issues, and I know, you've had serious health issues, and there's other people who go through hectic relationship issues. It's not so much about the money, it was about my values, my independence, my security, my safety, my pride, even my my reputation. I started feeling embarrassed about where I was in my life. Here, all of a sudden, I'm in my late 40s, and I've lost everything. Like everything I've built up over the years, I don't have it anymore. I don't have a career. I could go back. And sometimes I even, I told you yesterday, like there were times when I called people and say, okay, I think I need to come back. Do you have a job for me? And they would say, yes, you can start on Monday. And then Sunday, everything in me just screamed, no, don't do it, don't go back. Just don't do it. And then I would call and say, I'm sorry, I can't come back. And it happened twice, where I organized myself a job and then canceled it again. Because I also knew if I was going to go back,
yes,
this was not going to happen. And I didn't want to go back to the industry. I wanted to be here where I am today. And I was determined to be here, but it got really, really hard. It got really difficult. I didn't know what to do. I had to do all the free stuff, write an ebook and put it on Amazon, and start a blog and start a YouTube channel and do a free webinar. And I tried it all. I was like trying everything. I was listening to what everyone was saying, the free stuff I got on the internet. I was doing it, everything, but just still the clients didn't come. I didn't have a business. And
So if I can maybe ask you, you mentioned one of the reasons for you wanting to make a pivot was because you didn't want to be in the industry, and you hit a complete burnout after you decided to go, well, I've got all these qualifications now. And was there ever a time where you thought, you know what, I've done the hypno course, I've done the NLP and the life coaching course, must I go and do another course? Will that bring me more clients?
yes.
Okay.
Because you think you need more skills, and you think you need more knowledge, and you think you need more know how to deal with or deal in a session. So yes, I've done other little in-between bits and pieces. Those the ones I've mentioned now were the big ones.
Yeah.
But I kept on doing courses. I did free, like, those 3-day events on real success, and then go to those people's and come for 3 days and learn this. And it was all mentoring, and I did all of that, like, yes, I kept on feeding myself the knowledge,
Yes.
but still not getting my business out there and still not getting the clients.
Yes. Sure. So
Yeah.
just to recap a little bit, if I can, you were very successful. You're in the industry. Obviously, didn't want to stay in the industry for life. You then started looking at alternatives and things that really interest you, and you did one course, and then that opened the door to another course, that opened the door to another course, and
Yeah.
you then discovered that this is actually a passion of yours. This is something that you want to do. And it was also in a time where you were going through a phase in your life where you needed to make some changes. You then had a
Yes.
big change in your life where you sold your house and everything, and you guys moved down to a place called Esterfontein, right? For those of you who don't know where it is, it's somewhere in the Cape.
On the West Coast. West Coast.
Yes, and there's lots and lots of people there, right? So when they heard that Doret had these skills, they were lining up outside. They just wanted to consult with her. They just wanted to hear what she has to offer. So,
Yep.
so Doret, you then, because of your situation that you found yourself in, fortunately, you were in a position where you could sustain yourself for a while with your savings. And I really want everybody on the call to listen to what Doret said this evening. She said, I'm working in the film industry, I'm looking after myself, but I always felt there was something that I was missing. There was a piece of me that was not being satisfied, and I wanted to do something different. She then started looking, found the one thing, then looked, then the next thing, and slowly but surely the dots started connecting. And she then discovered a passion. At the same time, she decided she was going to take that on board, and she had the vision, but the little steps in between, the things that was actually going to make sure that happens, wasn't in place. Now, we often think that, I must just go and do one more thing. I must just go and do this, then everything will be fine. And one more thing, then that will be fine. And then when it doesn't happen, we kind of like, we get so upset. And you mentioned something yesterday. You said that you had an identity change that happened as a result of that. So you spoke about the money mindset now, but just share with us a little bit about that identity shift that took place, where you could have done anything in the past. You really did not have any challenges to overcome anything, but somehow this time around it was not that easy.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was stable, I was secure, I was confident, nothing really rattled me that much. I was strong, I had inner strength, so I had all of these things. And all of a sudden, this dip happened for me, this crash. I'm going to call it a crash because that's how it felt. And all of a sudden, I started losing my confidence. I started questioning myself. I started questioning my worth. I isolated. I didn't want to interact with people. I didn't want to talk to people because I wasn't feeling my best. And I kind of, definitely isolated, and I just wasn't in a nice space. And that started, then it starts feeling like, well, am I a loser? Am I a failure? Why can I not get this right? I've done, in the film industry, I could work magic. They would call me last minute and say, tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, we need this and this on set, and I could sort it out. I could figure it out. And it happened easily, and I and all of a sudden, here I am, and I'm just struggling, and I'm not doing the same thing over and over, because I also know if you're going to do the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results.
Yes.
So I'm like trying everything new, but nothing's working, and I start doubting myself. And is this the direction? It felt right. It's like my heart says yes, but my head's now talking a different story here to me. So that mind and body, also that coherence wasn't there, and it felt like I was in survival mode. I felt I was in survival mode. I was just surviving, and I was just frantically doing anything just to get my independence back. Because that to me was the biggest thing that I've lost, my independence. The fact that I needed to, especially my financial independence, the fact that I needed to ask other people to cover my rent and buy my food, and that to me was very difficult.
Sure.
So So yeah, that's where I started losing myself a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that, Doret. It's so important what you've said. You've done all the things that you thought was going to be important. You got all the qualifications.
Yeah.
You did everything the way you were trained by the industry, so to speak, to get everything ready to be able to help clients. And you've got the ability, but somehow you were just not finding the clients. You were just not making it into a proper business. So I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk about right now,
Yes.
Doret, the business owner. Right, so
Yes.
we had Doret, the human, in the film industry. Then we had the transition that took place. You decided to pivot and go into the mental health industry. You qualified for all those things, but you didn't realize that the mental health industry, and specifically, helping people in this industry, requires specific skill and also requires you to run it like a business. So, what changed? What happened?
So
How did it all come together?
all right. So in my absolute desperation to do all sorts of stuff, I was, advertising, and even on my status update, I was advertising, I'm going to do a free webinar. And in this webinar, I was going to present my course, and then people could sign up. This is what the Americans do. So all the other people on the internet. So like I was going to do the same. And yeah, so PG saw it, and he contacted me, and he said like, do it, but when you're done, come, I'll show you how. And so eventually I started working with PG, and he said to me, just do what I say, just do it exactly as I say. And he said to me, you're going to go here, and you're going to call these people, and you're going to say this to them. And I put the phone down after I spoke to him. I'm like, yeah, I've been there to that platform. It didn't work out so well. Calling people, I don't know. I'm very much a text person. I'm not crazy about talking on the phone, especially not with strangers, especially not me calling them. I don't even do voice notes. I like to text, and I'm good at emails. I'm a good email writer. Even before AI wrote my emails, I was good at writing email. But anyway. But I was, and I want to say desperate. I was desperate. I needed something to change because whatever I was doing so far was not working. And this was so far out of my comfort zone, picking up the phone and actually calling people. But I did it. I did exactly what he said, word for word, pretty much in the beginning. And I started calling and I started signing up clients. And it started going better and people were paying me. But, I was signing up clients and that was great. And it really now things are, I'm doing sessions, I'm actually working with people, I'm signing up, I'm getting some money in, so now it's going good. Now it's going great. But in the meantime, my money mindset has now shifted into still a lack mentality because I didn't have money. When I spoke to people, when I came to telling them what my fees are, I felt so nervous and like, but they're probably not going to have money because I didn't have money. So I kept on in the back of my mind telling myself, people don't have money, people don't have money. So that it was still a struggle. And I had to work on that mindset that yes, there's people out there with a lot of money and some people will invest in themselves.
Yes.
And if I can be that person to guide them into their improvement, then they're not actually investing in me.
Yeah.
They're investing in themselves. I'm just the person helping them, guiding them. And it's still, with Gideon, it's still like I'm still going through dips where when it's not going well, when there's a week where no one signed up or I didn't sign a client, where I still go into, but people probably don't have money now. February, people don't have money because January, everyone was still paying off their Christmas debt. All that stories that we tell ourselves.
Yes.
So I still slip into that, but now I'm aware of it. And now I can go, no. Don't go there. Pull yourself back.
Yes.
People do have money. People do want to invest in themselves. And people do if it's the right person for you, they will come, and it will be the right fit, and you will be able to help them.
Yes.
So it was putting all of that together, my own confidence in myself, my self-belief in myself, that I can guide someone on a journey, that I can charge money for it, that they will invest in it. And that then took time to work on that, because now it's a different game still from the film industry. I have to charge people. It's not just they give me a rate and I say yes or no, because that's how it used to be. We give you so much on this job, yes or no. Now I have to quote, and I have to charge people, and I have to follow up if they don't pay, and all of that. So then it was working on that mindset of how to run a business. But then there was the other stuff in between, now, yes, it gets to getting the money in, it gets to putting yourself out there, consistently putting yourself out there and showing up. And the moment when you slack a little bit, you lose momentum, you have to bring yourself back, you have to work double as hard all of a sudden because you've forgotten all your words when you call people.
Yes.
So it's to now consistently show up. When the scarcity mindset kicks in, or the old stories that's not serving me, it's to become aware of it and to say, no, let's go the other side. Let's look at the positive. Let's move, let's move the race to the possibilities and what is possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, Doret, it's amazing. So I just want to make sure I understand you 100%. You had this passion, you did all the qualifications, but you didn't have the business skills. You didn't know how to communicate and how to actually talk to someone and understand their problem, so that you can actually help them understand that you're the person that's going to help them solve that problem. Yeah. And, it's a very unique skill, that, because what I've often found, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but when you go on a course that promises to do X, Y, Z, and you often ask people, listen, before I go on this course, can you give me some proof that whatever you are going to teach me is actually working? 99% of the time, they would only give you a short answer and maybe promote another course, or they would maybe share a little bit, but not the entire picture. And I was also in that situation where I felt extremely frustrated, having done all the qualifications and everything, and nobody was knocking on my door, nobody was looking in my eyes and say, listen, we can see you, can help people, can you please help us? And I had to also go through that frustration of not being able to make the difference that I know I can make. So you spoke yesterday about certain triggers that you still have that tends to bring you back to where you don't want to be. And if there's anybody on the call this evening that's listening in, you know what a trigger is. You've had a life event that happened to you, and now when the smallest little thing happens, it reminds you of that event that took place in your life, and you're suddenly back there where you were, and it just ruins your experiences altogether. And Doret, for anybody here this evening that's going through something like this or experience something like this, what do you do when those triggers show up? How do you get yourself back into that mindset? How do you get yourself, back in when you've spoken to someone on the phone and they didn't convert? What do you do? How do you shift it back into where you need to be?
You shift your mindset. So rather than looking at, this person didn't sign or what these triggers are, I started shifting my mindset and looking at what do I want. So keeping my focus on what do I want? What do I want? If this person didn't sign, it's okay. This person wasn't meant for me. We weren't a fit. But that means there is someone out there that is going to be a fit. It's to find that person. So let that one go. Don't hold on to it. Let it go, but shift into what you want and the possibilities out there, because what you want is out there. And if you're going to keep focusing on the things that you don't want, the lack, the no's, the And it's difficult because I'm still sometimes like, I get very much drawn into it, but I have to bring myself out of it and say, all right, let it go. It's not meant to be, let it go. Bring yourself up. What do you want? This is the type of client I want. This is the person, this is the journeys I want to go on. So it's always bringing myself back to what I want.
Wow, brilliant.
And I don't want.
Brilliant. Guys, who's having fun this evening? Who's getting some value? Can I get some thumbs up and some hearts going there for Doret? I think she's doing a great job, Doret. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Yeah.
So yesterday we actually had a few discoveries while we were on the telephone, and I've got a few more questions for you. So if for where you are right now in your life, if you have to write a book, what will be the title of that book?
Remembering who I am meant to be.
Wow. Sure.
Because I think that version of you is already inside of you. And it is remembering, even though you don't have it yet, you haven't had it yet, it's remembering that version, the person you are meant to be.
Wow. Sure. Yeah. Who liked that? That was really special. Thank you.
That's deep.
Thank you for sharing that. And Doret, do you have a motto in life?
So my motto used to be, you're only as good as your last job, when I was in the film industry. And that was, that made me show up for each job as the best version of myself in the film industry. So that was for many years my motto. And then lately, with me, with this crash and the dip and turning around, and now we go, I just want to mention, we're turning around, we're going back up now. We're now finished with the crash. We're building momentum up again. So, now it feels like it's not how hard you fall, but it's how you stand up. There was some person had a quote like that about, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get up or whatever. Yes. For me, it's not how hard you fall, but it's just how you stand up. And I think that it's in that the fall is actually there for a reason. And even I can see that in hindsight, everything that I've learned about the experience I've been through, the things I've lost, opened up for new values like gratitude and there's other values now. So the motto would be it's not how hard you fall, but it's how you stand up.
Fantastic. I want to remind you of our discovery yesterday. You were talking a lot about shift. So we came up with a little slogan there. You want to share with us what we came up with?
Absolutely. Gideon, I don't actually want to steal this one because you were the brilliant mind, but we spoke about shifts, and we spoke about how many times I've shifted and I'm still shifting, and we spoke about the clients and them shifting in sessions, and that's all I want. So for any session, I just want to see, it doesn't happen in every session, but working with a client, I just want to see a shift in perspective, a shift in understanding, a shift in attitude, a shift in mindset, whatever it is. And you had the brilliant, you said, just like the slogan, shit happens, it's now shift happens. And I'm definitely gonna use it. I do a Friday fun status update on WhatsApp, and I'm definitely gonna use it tomorrow. So I'm gonna put the F in there, shift happens. I love it.
Fantastic.
I'm claiming it though.
Yeah, you can claim it, no problem. So whenever you guys feel that the shit is happening, just take the shit out and put the shift in and see what you can focus on. It's very, very important.
It's much better. Much better.
The shift is much better. Just remember that.
Way better.
That's it. So Doret, life is good now. Life has changed around. You've had all these incredible things that has happened to you. You've made a 360. You're able to, start planning a new future now. You've got paying clients. You've made the shifts. You've acquired all the skills. And you also mentioned yesterday that it's going so well with your business that you now are responsible towards SARS a little bit more frequently as well. So that's one of the.
It was a surprise.
That was a bit of a surprise as well.
So just to go back in the film industry, we pay tax, and then once a year you get your tax back because you pay too much tax. And then, so I used to get money back, and a nice big amount. And then for a couple of years, my accountant just put in a zero return or whatever they call it. And then this year she was like, no, you've got to declare now. You're earning good money. You've got to declare this now. And I'm like, well, okay, great. So I'm still expecting you're going to get so much back this year. And then she sends me this message and she says, you owe SARS so much. How much can your voorlopige belasting, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Like how much do you have? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, how do I owe SARS money? SARS used to owe me money. And so she explained it. I didn't believe it. I went all the way to my friend, ChatGPT, and I'm like putting the whole story in. And it said, give me the numbers. And I put in the numbers and it came back and says, no. Coach Doret, this is actually a good thing. It means you've got a growing business. That's what I get back. Yeah. So I'm now, yes, it's fine. I will pay SARS. It was a bit of a surprise, but it's a good sign. So I'm actually quite chuffed with having to do that. It's a sign that my business is growing.
Fantastic. You know what, Doret, what I like most about your story this evening, about what you have shared with us, is sometimes we go through things and we think, yes, like, why me? Why on earth is this happening to me? And what I've gathered from our conversation yesterday and from this conversation this evening is that you've made the shift about why, away from why me, then to say it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. It was maybe perhaps it felt like there was one door closing for me on the one side. And yes, it was terrible going through that and it was really tough. But at the same time, it was also an opportunity for you to really learn the things that you needed to learn, the preparation that needed to happen for the next phase of life. And, you mentioned something yesterday. You said that if it did not go as tough as it did, you probably would not have been that committed towards making it happen. And that to me was, kind of like my situation as well. It was like, if it wasn't going that tough, if you like just, you're boiling the water. It's not, you're so comfortable. You're just in that comfort zone. Nothing pushes you, nothing, you're just there.
Yes.
The water's not boiling, but, you can drink a cup of coffee. It's not a problem. It's not a food, but you can have the cup of coffee. And, now your life has turned around and now you have got this incredible mindset shift that has happened. And also all the elements, you got all the qualifications, but then you needed to learn those business skills. You needed to have a mentor that was there that could actually say to you, listen, this is what you need to do to get results. You didn't have to go through trial and error. So anyone listening tonight that is going through a tough time, find yourself a mentor. Find someone that has been where or that has gone through something similar that you've gone through. And I see a lot of people here on the call this evening that I have the pleasure to work with on a continuous basis, that reach out to me all the time, and that's also enrolled with the program that Pege takes them on. Anna Marie's here this evening, Suzanne has done it, Lee is here, Nadia is here. Karen is here, Gerda is here. There's a number of students, a number of people that's actually gone through something similar that you've gone through. Obviously, each one on their own journey. But tonight I want you to close it off by giving everybody one word of advice. One thing that they can hold on to tomorrow morning when they know they've got that calling. They know that they've got that special gift to make a difference in this world. What do they do tomorrow morning when that feeling knocks on the door? Do they open the door? Do they close the door? Do they find a mentor? What do they do? What is the first thing? What is the first step that you would recommend someone do if they've got the calling in life?
You definitely follow your heart, because that feeling, that calling is going to be in your heart. Your head is not going to tell you the truth. It's going to protect you. So you follow that feeling and you open that door and you just step through and you just follow that path and you just keep walking. But if you find that you're struggling to walk it alone, find someone to walk it with you. Because, and I come back to independent. I was doing things on my own, not only financially independent. I always did things. I just like, I'm a little stubborn, I'm going to do it by myself. Like, don't help me.
Yes.
But I got to a point where I just couldn't do it for myself. And that's when PG came in and he mentored me and I listened. And I would probably be back in the film industry right now, a 50-year-old props master, if it wasn't for it, because I was close to like giving up and say, maybe it's just not working.
Fantastic.
But luckily I didn't, and timing was, I do believe in divine timing, and timing was good, and things just changed. There was a tipping point, and that tipping point happened, and things changed, and it started going the other direction. But yes, get the help. Get help if you struggle. There's people out there who know how to do it, and if you allow them, and this is where it comes. It's not, you're not paying them. You're investing in yourself.
Yes.
To allow someone else to guide you into that. So
great.
Yes.
So it's not about the information, it's about the application of the information and doing the right things at the right time.
All of it. It's a package deal. Yeah.
So Doret, next for you in life, you mentioned yesterday that you are looking for balance. You're finding balance in your life.
Yeah.
It brings you a lot of happiness. You've also been able to, because of the change around that happened, first the mindset, with the skills, with working with a mentor, with working with someone that can actually help and guide you. You've made the shift financially. You've made the shift now also paying more attention to your health. You are now able to bring back the balance in your life. And if you now have to look back and say, if I have to do it all over again and if I have to experience what I have to experience again, was it all worth it?
Would I do it right now? Maybe not right now, but absolutely. If I had to, I would do it again, because I understand now the journey that I had to go on. I understand the dark place I needed to go into. Also, to be able to hold that space for clients, because I didn't actually understood it. My life was quite stable and nice, and yeah. So I needed that for many different reasons, but I needed the new version of me to come out of it. So yes, definitely, I would do it again, and it's my journey. Yeah.
Sure. Doret, I think you've inspired a lot of people this evening. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for being so open and honest and raw. I know sometimes, especially when it comes to friends and family, we don't want to tell them if things are going bad. We don't want them to feel sorry for us or talk about us when we're not there. I know that feeling. And,
you're embarrassed, you're humiliated. It's like, I shouldn't know what I'm going through. I screwed up. I mustn't know about it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I think sometimes we lose ourselves because we think it's only us that's going through a tough time or a difficult time. And it's phenomenal to see that there's hope, there's an opportunity, there's the possibility of making a difference and making a change. So huge congratulations for everything that you've achieved. Well done on this incredible journey that you have taken on. And I know you are a phenomenal individual that's making a difference on a daily basis. So from all your clients and from all of us this evening, I want to say thank you very, very much for your inspiration. Thank you very much for your guidance. Thank you very much for your validation that it's possible and that you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Absolutely.
So I see there's someone that's actually want to say hello to you. Let me just quickly see if it is the person himself.
He's not allowed to make me cry though, because he
He's
like,
got a hand
yeah,
raised.
I think about him, I want to cry.
Doret, I'm not going to make you cry.
I've got my tissue, I'm ready.
You actually make me cry. So there's a saying that say there's a big test, or there's the test in the testimonial, and that's exactly what you've demonstrated.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go through life and we really don't understand exactly what's happening to us when we're inside a very difficult situation. And I think we all been in very difficult situations. So I've got some final words for you tonight, because you are such an inspiration. And I want to say thank you for listening, to understand instead of listening to respond.
Yeah.
And sometimes our own program and our own perception and our own beliefs and our own RAS, the reticular activating system, tells us that we need to go down this road. And every time when you get there at T-junction, you turn left. And then at the next T-junction, you go left again. And then one more T-junction, you just caught your own tail. Now, we keep on going in these circles. And then when we're in these circles, it's like we think about things. And you know for a fact, if you give that thought attention, it will become a feeling. And then we get stuck between think and feel and feel and think. And then we really just don't get out of the duck pond with the duck tooth. And we start quacking like ducks. And we all know the story about the ducks. Okay. So you're not a duck anymore.
No.
You are a proper eagle. So one day, Doret decided to sing a little bit. And she sang, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it day and night. I spread my wings and I fly away. I believe I can soar like an eagle, right? I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. And I believe I can fly. And the one thing that every single person needs, and this is without doubt one of the biggest compliments that I got. And I want everybody to remember that. If you ever get a compliment that you have a can-do attitude, that's most probably the only thing that you're going to need to make a success. So, Doret, from me to you, bless you and thank you for all the hard work you put in. And if it's possible for me, I was in such a big hole myself, and I had to get myself out of that own hole.
Yep.
And because I got it right, I could help someone else to get it right as well. So I want everybody to step it up from tomorrow morning, well, from this evening actually, step it up. Because you can now see that if you take the next step and you start showing up for yourself, it will for certain have an impact on someone else's lives. And now she has stepped it up again. And now it's having a huge impact on other people's lives. And that's exactly how you make an impact. So again, thank you, Doret, and also thank you, Gideon. You are such a treat always, and it's always fun to hear you speaking. You always smile. You've got a lot of energy. So I want everybody to give them a hand of applause. And I want to thank you for showing up and did what you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Doret, thank you so much once again. Thank you for taking the time out this evening. It was really lovely to have you here. And I'm going to leave you with this by saying, I will look after me for you. Will you please look after you for me and all of us? And until we see each other again next week, Thursday, we have a very special surprise for everyone.